Year 5s, happy Wednesday home learning video. It's me, Miss Hardy here. Really nice that you've all tuned in, ready for your home learning for today. I hope you've had a good couple of days answering the questions about Macbeth, and hopefully you're all, most of you, remembering the story of Macbeth. Those of you that maybe didn't read us with it at school, hopefully you've got to grips with it and you are familiar with that story now, because it's so exciting, such a good story. So you've had a couple of days answering questions on Macbeth, making sure we're really clear on that story. We're gearing up now to create our own play scripts. So in order for us to create our own play scripts, we need to really understand the features of a play script and what a play script actually looks like on paper. I've put on the slide a copy of a play script. It's a play version of Fantastic Mr. Fox by Roald Dahl, and I've put that on the slide, so hopefully you're looking at that now. If you haven't opened your home learning for today with you while you're watching this video, it might be worth just pausing me and going to open that so that you can have a look at it while I'm talking to you. If you have a look at it, lots of things on there show us straight away that it's a play script, and that's what it means by finding the features of a play script. We do this at school for most of our pieces of writing. When we start a new genre, for example, if we were doing instructions, we'd normally do a lesson where we would look at some example instructions and we'd pick out all the things that make it instructions, and how do we know that it's not a story, or how do we know that it's not a diary extract or an explanation text? What are the things that make it that genre? So if we look at a play script, there are lots of things straight away that we can see, and it looks, doesn't it? It looks very different from if you wrote a story. For one thing, there's not long bits of long paragraphs, and there aren't any speech marks, and they're really important things. On the slide that you've also got for today's home learning, I have put a little checklist with all the things that we're going to look for. And what you're going to do once we've talked through those features is annotate them for me, a bit like we do at school. So you can copy out a couple of lines from the example play script, and then you're going to find all those key features. Okay? So on my board here, I've copied out, I've actually adapted it slightly. It's not word for word exactly as it is in the script. But I've copied out a section. This is the kind of thing I want you to do in your book once I finish this video. You could do a longer bit if you wanted to. You could challenge yourself and write your own sentences. You could adapt it a little bit like I have. But you're going to copy a section out and then show me all those features. So straight away we can see that we've got scene 2 written at the top. In a play script, instead of having chapters like we have in a book, we have different scenes. So every time the place that the story's set, every time the place changes, we have another scene. So if you were writing a play script of something that you were doing at home, you might have scene 1 in the kitchen having breakfast with the family. Scene 2 might be in the garden playing football. Scene 3 might be in the living room watching TV. So every time the place changes, we have a different scene, and we always have that at the top of a new scene to show which one it is. We also have certain things that are written normally in italic writing, which is like slopey over writing, slanty writing. And you can see there, I've tried to do it as best I could. It's quite hard to do italic-y writing. And they're called stage directions. So anything that's in italics is a stage direction, and what that does is tell the actors what to do at that time. So in a story, it might say something like, Miss Hardy walked across the room happily. But in a play script, somebody's acting that, so the person acting as Miss Hardy would need to know how to walk across the room. So anything in italics tells the character what to do. So here, for example, underneath scene 2, we've got some stage directions, and it says curtains open. So no one's going to say that, but the actors know that that's what it needs to look like. It then says Mrs. Fox is ironing. So the person playing Mrs. Fox knows that she needs to be on the stage ironing at that time. And then, before Fox starts to talk, we've got some more stage directions, and these are in brackets, and it's also in italics, and it says happily, and that shows that Fox needs to say that happily. So anything in italics that tells the actors what they need to be doing or how they need to do something, they're the stage directions. So they're our italic writing. We've then got the characters. So another big difference with play scripts is instead of in a story you'd have speech and you'd have the fox said and then you'd have speech marks and we have all those rules about speech punctuation. Well, we have none of that in play scripts. So you have the name of the character who's about to speak, and then you might have some stage directions to tell them how to say it, and then you have a colon, those 2 dots, we've looked at these before, and then the words that they're going to say. So no speech marks, we don't have the word said or shouted or laughed or sniffed or whimpered, we don't have any words like that. We tell them how they're going to say it by using an adverb, stage directions, and then we just have the words for them to read. And then at the end, look, we've got some more stage directions to show Fox that not only is he going to say it happily, I've won the game, then waves hands. So then he's got to wave his hands in celebration for winning the game. So most of the features that you need to identify, I have just mentioned while we're there. I'm just going to check my list, which is the list that you've got on your slides. So characters, we've got them, where it says Fox there. Brackets, the stage directions are in brackets. Things we're telling the character to do as they say their line, they're in brackets. The scene is at the top, tells us which scene. Your scene could even have a title. So it could be scene 1, the kitchen. Scene 2, the garden. Stage directions, we've said the words that are in italics that tells the actors what to do. Colon, before the words that the character's going to say. Verbs, so at the bottom, if it's a verb, remember, is something that you do. So at the bottom where it says Fox in stage directions waves hands, that's a verb. What's the fox got to do? Wave his hands. We've also got Mrs. Fox, what's she doing? Ironing. So verbs where we're telling the characters what to do, and adverbs telling the characters how to do something or how to say something. So how is Fox going to say it? He's going to say it happily. You might also have italic writing on there, so the words that aren't being said by the actors are in slopey writing, italic writing, just to make it stand out a little bit more, that they're not words the actor is going to actually say or the character is going to say. So, in your books, I'd like you to choose a section of this that I've put on the next slide. Choose a section and copy it out. It doesn't need to be much. You can see that I've only done a little bit on here, but I've managed to put all the features on there. So it's up to you whether you do a long bit or a short bit, whether you copy it exactly the same as on here, or whether you do what I've done and change it a little bit. You can change it a little bit. You could even write a couple of sentences that aren't even to do with Fantastic Mr. Fox if you really want to, that's fine. When you've done that, I want you to identify those features. So sometimes we do this at school, and you might create a little key. So you might draw yourself something like this, like I've put on the slide, and then you might colour code each thing on the list. So characters is red, and then in your book you could underline the character in red. Brackets, we could say green, and then you could just underline to show that you understand where the brackets are and what they are and where they are in the play script. Okay. Alternatively, if you think you can do it neatly enough, with a pencil and a ruler, you could draw arrows or draw lines and label the things. So for example, a straight line coming off there, and then you could write stage directions and do it like that, almost like a mind map of the features. It's totally up to you how you'd like to do it, but the idea is, the aim is that you're noticing all of those things that make a play script different from other genres of writing, so the things that make them special to play scripts. Okay? Hopefully that's reminded you. I know we've looked at these a few times before, maybe if we've read play scripts, and we did touch on this certainly in my class right before school closed. So hopefully that's given you a reminder. If there's anything you want to go over, obviously you can just rewind this YouTube video and watch it again. We'd love to see your work as usual, like we've said when we've been sending it out. If there's anything, especially if you're particularly proud of it, email it to your teacher. We'd love to see it. Some of my class have been doing that, and I've loved seeing your work. So please do that, and I hope you've enjoyed watching this video, and enjoy. Take care, everybody. Bye.